What is up, Mr. Lardo?
Good afternoon. I'm living the freaking dream today. It's like only like 85 degrees. I've only sweat a little bit today, so I feel really good.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's like in the 90s here, so
Yeah,
uh,
I felt it
yeah.
when I was there last week, and I didn't like it at all.
Oh, you don't miss Atlanta? Come on, you miss me just a little bit. Just
I
a little
had
bit.
I had my feelings hurt last week. I got off the plane. I felt like, oh my lord, what happens here? Yeah, it's yes, hot Atlanta all
We
day.
melt.
Right? Like my God, I walked out the door and I felt like I was getting spritzered. It was so nice.
You were getting spritzered. No, no, you mean you just felt the moist air fall upon you? I don't know about spritzered.
Ignorance is bliss, Alex. You need to understand this. So, as far as I was concerned, I was at like an all-inclusive resort, standing outside of the hotel on Peach Street or whatever street I was on. I can't remember because it was just a bad day, and I felt great. It was nice. But thank you for asking. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I look forward to these now. I get to see you twice a week. It's so much fun. I'm
Hmm.
really enjoying it. So, these pitch-its with IT Nation, they've been fun for me. I'm really looking forward to today's episode because I know both the contestants personally. So I think it's going to be a fun episode.
I know them both personally, also, and they'll either be really good or really train wreck. Either way, we should enjoy ourselves for the next, 45 minutes or so.
Sean, that's
Um,
not fair. You know all of them personally at this point. I don't have that advantage.
I do, but both these guys are on their second year.
Okay.
So like I got to spend like the last 2 years with them, and they're both pretty dope actually.
They
Very
are.
accomplished, I know. So and also keep in mind too, we're only a couple weeks out from when the actual battle royale starts and the preliminaries, and so their time is limited.
That's like what, a week and a half away now?
They get started on the 20th, and we'll be making the announcement in the next week here. So
All right. So it's almost that time. And the grand prize, $70,000 in funding,
mhm.
and the third place steak knives.
Yes, 70/30 steak knives. They all get free booths though too. So and it's Uncle Marv's steak knives. It's not just any regular steak knives. It's literally like he's definitely not a trained chef or no real business in even selling steak knives or having his name on them. But it works.
All right. Well, should we go ahead and bring up our first contestant? What do you say?
Absolutely.
All right. So today, let us go ahead and introduce Mr. Dave Make, who is the channel director of DefensX, everybody.
I thought I would do that for the Olympics.
That's not.
That is this the Olympics thing, right? That's
Are
what
you
they all
guys
do, the
even in the Olympics?
sprinters.
Is Canada even in the Olympics? I don't know if I saw much about
Oh
them.
my God, come on.
Oh, because there's no like maple syrup competition.
They're trying to get maple syrup drinking into the Olympics. Yes,
Yeah, or
Is that
the
real? A real thing? Yeah.
well, I mean, the long, thank you,
Oh,
Alex.
here goes the train wreck.
Thank you, Alex.
I'm just here to make sure it goes off the rails at least once an episode.
Yeah, no, there is a maple syrup drinking, and it's right after the amount of stories in 10 minutes you can say.
Right. A.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey.
And sorry.
You're welcome.
So, Dave,
Right.
we obviously know that you are from Canada now. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you and how you got into the channel, and maybe, a little bit on your first and now second year of PitchIT.
Right. Yeah. So I've been in this industry way too long. Back when cloud computing was not in the cloud, it was on-prem. Everything was on-prem. So pre-archaic times comparison to today. So I've made my way through the rankings of different products and been in the VAR side to the channel side to now the vendor side. So seen it, kind of done it all. Yeah, and now I'm here with DefensX, 2.5 years as a channel director. PitchIT, wow, I back for a second year. I loved it so much. I actually purposely finished outside the top 3 last year so I could come back. I liked it that much.
Actually,
You just wanted to spend more time with Sean, right?
All of you, like this is what it's all about, as far as I'm concerned.
Dave's lonely. So
I'm in Canada. It's always cold up here. You know we live in igloos, right? So
but Obviously. In the 3 cities of Canada. Yes, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the tri-borough of North Carolina. It's just the whole country is a tri-borough.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So year 1 to year 2, I asked this last time. Anything different that you're seeing that you really appreciate from year 1 to year 2, or any big takeaways so far?
Not really, because it's just a great program for startups, small companies to get involved with. You're learning all the time. There's 16 great weeks of learning opportunities directed at different individuals inside your organization, so you can really, tailor who you want to watch those particular episodes, if you will, or training sessions or seminars, whatever name you want to put on it. But it's the networking. Like, I've met some, like, Sean has been in my life now since I got involved with PitchIT, and just prior to that, because he was the one that said, "Hey, dude, you need to do PitchIT. You really need to get involved with this." And I did it based on his push, and I'm absolutely happy I did so. And yeah, just so many great people. Even this year, ChannelCon last week, you saw it in the suite that we had. That was incredible. And actually, this year, I believe, has been even better than last year, as far as my viewpoint.
Yeah, it needs to say, like, things, they're getting kind of serious between me and Dave, obviously, over 2 years now. But, when I met Dave, he was considering, actually the conversation started because he was looking to see where he should sponsor and do things. Like, he was trying to figure out where the best place to navigate to for the business. And we had this really in-depth conversation. It was pretty, as a matter of fact. And, at the end of it, we literally came down to a conclusion of where he should be. And he was really came out guns blazing, which I was happy to see, because I mean, Canadians are usually, they're more passive, and he wasn't. Not he was. One thing about Dave is he's not passive, so we're clear.
Way to just throw the stereotype on him.
Yeah.
Totally
I brought my hockey to the channel. That's what I did.
Yes, and if you ever see, feel free to go look at Dave's pictures on LinkedIn. Somehow he's like on stage with famous people, making him wear his bracelet. Like, somehow, some way, there's like 100 or there's like even 1,000 young people out there. Somehow Dave's on stage with Wyclef. I don't understand.
So Dave, tell us a little bit more about DefensX.
So DefensX is the starting point is a DNS solution, which everybody is very familiar with, but our kind of secret sauce is the web browsing protection. So daily browsing on the web, how to protect those web attacks, and then credential and file protection. I think everybody's got some sort of text before that says, "This is your bank. We owe you $57. Click on this link." Well, that's one vector of an attack, and we would stop that one 100%. And then there's this file downloads, drive-by downloads that we can protect against, seeing any sizes of a download and sandboxing that, and obviously stopping any form of attack from that angle.
I want that $57 though, so I don't understand why I can't get the $57.
Would you click for 57, or does it need to be 107? What would
I really want that $200 Apple gift card though, please.
That's right. Yes.
Right. It's like, tell me there's no Santa Claus. Thanks, Dave.
Wait, Sean, what?
Thanks for my day, Dave. Yeah, Dave
ruined it for me?
No, Dave ruined it for us, Alex.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I ruined it for probably a lot of people, actually. They probably were clicking on those links. Yeah.
Yeah. It's $57.
I'm a little familiar, obviously, with DefensX. Well, I guess you don't know, obviously, but we use DefensX, so I'm a little familiar with it. But I'm not familiar with others in the channel. Is this something that is specific just to you guys? Do you have a lot of competitors in the channel? How do you stand out between your competitors?
Well, really on the DNS side, and this is a starting point for us. So we offer very inexpensive entry level protection on DNS. It's a complete DNS product. It's 25 cents. Like, it's crazy cheap for an MSP to offer this out to their clients. So on the DNS side, yeah, there's a bunch of people down at that level, but no one down at our price point. We really want to have everybody to have at least the DNS protection running, and then the ability to use our other features in their organization to further protect those individuals. So to create that protection or that stack and that protection in that stack against those other attacks that are coming through the web browsing side. And on that side, there's not really many competitors. Most of them are at the enterprise level, not in the MSP world.
So, okay, and let's just go to the generality of cybersecurity, something we always talk about. Everybody does something in cybersecurity, but nobody really clearly identifies what they do, right? You just did. Thank you for that. So, when somebody works with you, who else should they be working with? What else do they
Sorry,
need? What are they missing? You guys do one part of this. What else are they missing from this? If they wanted to be a complete cybersecurity stack, not that you have to tell me every single bit of it, but who do you directly align
So a lot of products actually. So
with?
let's just start with EDR, XDR products, Sentinel One, and we'll name CrowdStrike, unfortunately, but yeah, they're down at that level. They are an absolute perfect add-on. We're a perfect add-on for them, and those products are being readily used in the industry currently. I like to use it as they are the mousetrap inside the house, and we are the one outside the house. So we're protecting against those web browsing attacks, which are on the exterior of the wall of the house, when people are kind of working at their home or at Starbucks or traveling in hotels like we do. And then EDR, XDR really takes care of everything else beyond that. So we're inexpensive, right? And we're not the price tag of a EDR, XDR product. We're a price tag of how do we stop the attacks from the web browser side.
So you said most other solutions that are out there, like you guys use, that are mainly for enterprise. So you guys are a little bit lower price point for the MSPs. Is that to be more compatible for the MSP's needs, or can you touch a little bit more on that?
Really, it just the pricing point we believe is what the technology is the value on the technology is. So it's a per license, it's a reoccurring revenue product. So it is per month per license that you use or consume. One of the big factors is we don't require you to use a specific browser to use our product. So it's agent based, goes on the end on that computer or phone or tablet. And then they're protected. Once those policies are set, they're protected. Whereas other products out there that are similar to ours, they have created a Chromium-based browser that you must go through for the protections to be active. So we really simplify the whole process. Pricing-wise, I don't know why we're so much cheaper. It's a pricing point we really created. I don't think we need to be more expensive than we are, to be honest with you. We want to make sure that MSPs and their clients are protected properly.
Actually, yeah, I love that you talk about the price because, you know, Dr. Zoe Berg, he keeps talking about your 25% endpoint. I mean, I heard a lot of this channel content. So, first he asked Alex, and then he asked me who I use. I mean, and so, let's talk about that real quick, right? When I see like he just can't stop himself, and I heard a lot at ChannelCon too. Like, honestly, he kept telling me, and I was like, I know Dave, and I had to remind him, but you got a couple of seconds here. So what's the goal? What is the whole deal with this? Because, typically it's a little bit more expensive elsewhere for this. So why is this the case?
We see a DNS product as being a little bit dated in the technology against today's attacks. Today's attacks are coming from way different areas now, specifically web browsing, hence DefensX. But DNS products are really just an allow block categorization. There's not a lot of leniency or features or flexibility with the product. So once it's kind of set, you don't have much to go to be able to allow people to do some things. And really being flexible with those actions that they want to take. That's what we create. We create another layer. We kind of call ourselves next generation of DNS, right? So from our standpoint, DNS is not worth $1 anymore, or $1.10 or 90 cents. It's worth $0.25.
Those are fighting words, but that's okay. I'll leave that for another fight for another day. Just saying. All right.
Sean, you never answered the question. Who are you guys using for DNS protection?
Considering I facilitate this whole competition, I'm at liberty to plead the fifth. Just saying. No, moving on now.
Dave, we got another question from good old Dean here. Can we use it at home?
You can. Well, obviously, it's an endpoint protection. So yes, anybody that obtains a license, they actually get 5 endpoints for one license. So that means
25 cents gets you 5
endpoints.
All right.
Phones, tablets, computers, laptops, whatever devices you want to protect.
Good. Great. Moving on now.
Sean's really trying to move on before I bring up any more of Dean's questions.
Yes. Dean's doing a great job here. He also did a great job at ChannelCon.
Yeah, he did. Great job.
We actually, believe we met at CCF, Dave, when I was having some issues with my computer and DNS. Do you remember trying to help me out? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a frustrating afternoon for you, for sure.
Yeah, so we actually found out it was not DNS. It was a software issue with my laptop. I recently had to factory reset. I've been blaming Xfinity for weeks. I probably owe them an apology.
Yes, you do.
I'm just sitting back letting Alex run the show again because she does really good now, and it's nice. I get to just sit back and drink water today.
Sean's old. He needs breaks now. I'm working hard to make sure that, he gets what he needs.
You're very thoughtful.
Sean does a lot of these things, his face is all over the place, including the middle of our ChannelCon promotion. Somehow, I don't know how.
You're welcome.
He ended up in the middle.
We needed a big billboard, and I have a bald head. It's a good place to
Sean, your head's already big enough. We don't need to blow it up anymore. All right, we're good there. We're good there.
Good for advertising.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you so much. We do have one more contestant, so let's go ahead and bring him up. We have.
And get rid of Dave. Bye, Dave. See you in a minute.
Bye, Dave. See you later.
Alex never surprised. He just leaves.
I know. And Mr. Rob Scott, the founder of Monjur. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you again. I used to see you a lot more. I don't get to see you as often now, but it's always a pleasure when I do get to.
It's always great to see you as well, even if it's over Zoom or real stream. It's good to see you. Hope all is well.
The beard looks good, Rob. I mean, you're looking pretty clean.
Not quite to your level yet there, Sean, but I'm working toward it.
Yeah, you're pretty good there. It looks nice. Looks good on you in the glasses.
I still got to take mine into court,
So, Rob, me and Sean obviously know you pretty well, but for everyone else out there that does not, why don't you give us a little tidbit about yourself and how and why you got into the channel?
So if Sean is old, then I'm really, really old. I started representing MSPs as a lawyer in the early 2000s. And by 2020, I had hundreds of MSPs that I had developed customer contracts for, and I had no way to keep them updated. And so by 2022, we launched the Monjur platform, which is an AI-powered cloud-based service that allows us to dynamically update our clients' customer contracts through the cloud and allows them to collapse the sales and contracting processes into one online step around tools like ConnectWise, CPQ, and others.
All right.
So,
we weren't quite ready for your pitch yet, but that sounded good.
Yeah, it sounds great. No, that's that. So, but to jump on top of that, even like the other day, we just had Greg Sharp on, right, from Zen Contract, and you know them well. You guys are complimentary to him.
Yeah. So what we do, Sean, is the legal work. The work that would otherwise go to a traditional law firm is the work that we do. The preparation of the customer contracts themselves, the related waivers, the data processing terms.
Yep.
All of those documents could be handled through a contract management system like Zen Contract, a quoting tool like CPQ. So in that way, yes, there is a complementary service in the sense that we do the legal work that creates the documents, and tools like Zen Contracts deliver, distribute, and manage those contracts.
Perfect.
So with that, now that we know that you're complimentary too, is there anyone else doing what you do? I think you're right.
Yeah, so there are a number of lawyers who have developed a reputation in the channel, and in some ways we would compete with them. But to be honest with you, we're mostly competing with people who don't have lawyers because those legal services have been unattainable or difficult to acquire in the past. Because Monjur is built as a SaaS solution, it's a lot easier and a lot more comfortable for IT services firms to do business with us than, for example, a traditional legal service or law firm.
And you had mentioned AI previously, that you're using AI with your solution. Ray put a great question in the chat. With all the stories about the misuse of that, how are you preventing?
Well, the important thing about AI is that it's not an alternative to lawyers. It's a tool to be used by lawyers. When you start allowing AI to determine what goes into court submissions without an independent review of the cases that are being cited and what they say, you've got a recipe for disaster, because anyone that uses AI knows that it gets you part of the way there and you have to do the rest. So I believe Ray and Lawyer in the Loop for all AI use. That's number one. So, there's no substitute for the responsible attorney whose name is on the pleading. The attorney of record is what they call it. That attorney is responsible for the content of what gets submitted, regardless of whether it's, written by pen in pencil and then typed up by somebody else, or it's drafted by AI. The attorney of record is responsible for those submissions, and the lawyers that have gotten in trouble have allowed the AI to write things that they didn't independently verify. And then when the courts got them, they determined that those lawyers were attempting to mislead the court by falsely saying that certain case law said things that it didn't say. And that's how they got in a lot of trouble with that. So we don't use it for that purpose. I use it every day in all of the legal matters that I work on, but I do it in a way to take an initial pass, the way I would use a law clerk or a paralegal or an associate. But as the lawyer in charge or responsible for what gets filed, I have to take an independent review of everything that it says.
So to jump on, and actually, Dean actually had a good question for once, which is nice. The actual what use does the average? I don't know. I'd rather go down to the legal Zoom one. The legal Zoom one is one I had to go to. Sorry. Yeah, like why not just use legal Zoom, or on a TechTribe download a template?
Well, look, I mean, LegalZoom doesn't have customer contracts for managed service providers. So if your need is in customer contracting, which is where our flagship service, contracts as a service, is focused, LegalZoom is not an answer, even, potentially. My issue with downloaded templates is they're just that. Nothing against TechTribe. We're going to be at their ScaleCon event and a proud sponsor of it. So not to say anything against TechTribe, but TechTribe is a group not from America, with no lawyers running it, putting out documents not reviewed by a lawyer, and if used by an MSP and something goes wrong, with no recourse. To me, getting your legal agreements from a template provided by any group or vendor without legal review would be foolish. In fact, even TechTribe would tell their members, these are a starting place for you to take to your lawyers. They're not suggesting that anyone should attempt to use them without a legal review. And this was the case 10 years ago, that it was not a good idea to share templates or download vendor templates. But in today's world, it's even more significant, because the laws are changing so frequently that whatever agreements you have today will be outdated in a quarter or 6 months. Thus the need for services like Monjur, where we're constantly updating the agreements for our clients, and we're able to push those agreements out to them dynamically through the cloud. So use of templates is a dangerous thing. And even the people who provide them to you know that it's dangerous. And that's why they tell you every time, these are for you to take to have reviewed by your lawyer. If you have the right lawyer, they don't need the TechTribe documents as a starting place.
Absolutely. No. And to follow up on that last one is where Dean asked about the average MSP even have for legal documents. Again, I think legal documents usually come into play when you're trying to sign on a new customer, mostly, right? That's when you're going through your terms, your business terms, and whatnot, right? So, I mean, what's the average look like for you that you see that an MSP is using, or you filings or anything?
Yeah, so I would say the typical document stack that we see for managed services would be a master services agreement, a variety of different service attachments that are designed to have specific terms and conditions for different service offerings. I'm talking about things like managed compliance, managed IT, managed security, right? Each one of those could have a separate service attachment. So there could be a number of service attachments. Our most recent one that launched in March of this year is the service attachment for managed AI. So there are new ones come about as technology changes. So that's why we keep them modular. And then you need to get into some other ancillary documents. The schedule of third-party services is a listing of all the vendors that the MSP uses, together with a waiver of the right of the end user customer to sue the MSP for any act or omission of a third-party service. So think CrowdStrike, think the Acronis case in Sacramento. Before that, more significantly, the Kaseya ransomware attacks. Anytime a third-party service provider does or doesn't do something that harms the MSP's customers, it raises the question, under what circumstances could the MSP be liable? So that schedule of third-party services is an important component of risk mitigation. From there, you're getting into things like your schedule of services, so your catalog of offerings. And then beyond that, data processing terms. So if you're dealing with healthcare clients, that would include the HIPAA business associate agreement. If you're dealing with financial institutions, that would cover the agreements that are required by the FTC safeguards rules. And similarly with GDPR in Europe and England, as well as a whole patchwork now of state laws modeled after California's CCPA, where we've seen recent laws in Colorado, Connecticut, Virginia, Utah, Texas, and there's 3 to 5 new privacy laws coming out in the United States every year.
So to kind of touch on Dean's other question too, he wanted to know if you would basically review his existing MSA to make it better. So just kind of walking through that, let's say an MSP wants to come work with you. Maybe they don't have anything, maybe they have something existing. Or do you have templates you're working off of? Are you creating these documents new every time specifically for the MSPs? Are you, what does that look like for each example?
So Dean, you could send me your agreement. That's what we use the AI for, by the way. So I have a trained AI ChatGPT-4 model called Lobby that I developed that will analyze your MSA and tell you what's missing, benchmarking against Monjur's, what we consider best practices template. So happy to do that for you, Dean. Send it over. We'll have fun with it. We'll record.
And what about for the MSPs that maybe don't have anything and they need something completely new created? Do you do that as well?
And that's exactly, either way, whether you have one or not, we start with ours. So our process is to start with our templates, and to the extent that they need to be customized, we customize them for each MSP before we go live.
And is it like, are they paying per contract? Is it a monthly fee, or how does that work?
It's a monthly fee, Alex. It's not per contract. It's unlimited contracts. And we just charge a one fixed monthly fee.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
I mean, it's prepaid legal. He loves that. Just so we're clear.
That's my favorite analogy. That's almost as good as LegalZoom.
We need a T-shirt. We need a T-shirt for you, Rob. Prepaid legal.
We were at a show one time. He was sitting there. I think we were in Boston, maybe, right? And somebody said to him, like, and the look on Rob's face was just like, yeah.
Dean had another really good question, actually. How do the MSPs? What does the barrier look like? How are they? Just email it over to you? They just go to your website. There's a link they can click to submit it. How does that work?
Yeah, so they can go to our website and schedule a demo. That's an easy way to do it. we have a special page, a special landing page that we market for our free MSA review. And
Free MSA review you offer, did I hear you say?
That's correct. That's a free MSA review. Anybody who thinks their MSAs are great, I bet everyone one Coca-Cola, either Coke Zero or Coke, that my AI tool will review your MSA and find at least one significant legal protection that we offer is missing from your MSA.
So we can go to that website that's being scrolled up and just go ahead and drop our MSA in there, and you're going to let us know what we need to fix.
Just email. My contact information is there. Just email it to me.
All right.
He'll put his cell phone number out there shortly so people can just text him too.
Yeah, you can just text it to me too. I have no problem with that. I want to see as many as possible.
Service. Talk about customer service, man.
Hey, I tell people, this is a full service law firm.
Yes, it is.
Prepaid.
It's funny. The old model was prepaid. Before Monjur, I would take $12,500 to develop a set of customer contracts for my customers, and I would deliver them a Word document, and that was the end of the engagement. Today, I charge a small setup fee and a small monthly fee, and I don't get my $12,500 back until the middle of year 2.
All right. So small setup fee, small monthly fee. You got.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's not prepaid. It's the opposite of prepaid.
So
what does that setup fee look like, Rob?
For anyone that mentions this show and Alex in particular, I will waive the setup fee. But it's normally between $299 and $499. But anyone who mentions your name will get free setup. All
right, I like that deal. That's a great deal. Notice it's my name, not Sean's.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I just like how Ray's got legal Zoom for MSPs. That's all I like. Great.
All right, we got one more question from Dr. Zoidberg. How many human attorneys are there behind the AI?
So the only attorney that's been involved in training lobby is me. I trained it to do this work that Dean was talking about, because a lot of MSPs asked me to do that. Hey man, can you look at my MSA and tell me how it is? Their attitude is, if I need to fix it, I will. If it's okay, I don't want to fool with it. So I trained a ChatGPT based model to understand the nuances of the Monjur MSA and to be able to map and compare it to MSAs presented in a variety of different formats by searching those MSAs and finding the analogous paragraphs and then doing a comparison on a issue by issue basis. So, but besides that, the other lawyers we have at the firm include my partner and co-founder, Julie Mockel, who is a partner in the law firm of Scott & Scott and has been with Scott & Scott for over 20 years. And she and I are the two main lawyers that are involved with Monjur. I kind of run the sales organization, and she's on the customer experience and onboarding. And so we kind of have a nice even divide of responsibilities. And so she and I are the main two collaborators. And then we have associates and paralegals that assist us with contracting and other matters.
Do you give Miss Julie my love? I love her.
Let her know, Alex.
And if they mention my name, charge 2 times more, because my name's worth money.
That's it. That's what they say. Oh, your time is expensive. You have no free time because your time
I like Emilio's better.
If they mention
Sean's name, just delete the email.
Emilio's.
How about this, Sean? How about this? Anybody who mentions your name gets 2 months free.
Look at that.
Oh, there we go.
Crazy Rob
mention both of you, and they'll get free setup and free 2 months.
All right. That's a I hope everyone's paying attention.
Amen.
All
to
right.
that.
Well, let's go ahead and bring Dave back up for some Q&A.
All right, Dave, can you figure out how to use your camera? Good.
I'm here. I haven't gone anywhere.
Dave, free MSA review. That's cheaper than 25 cents.
I know. Free is cheaper than 25 cents. That's for sure.
Hey, Dave,
Wow.
are we commoditizing the channel here or what?
I think we are. Yeah. And by the way, you sound way smarter than me when you talk. Wow.
not a really high barrier. Anyway, yeah.
Whoa.
Hey,
Whoa.
Dave, I appreciate the compliment. If I was trying to talk about what you do, I wouldn't sound that good.
I mean, I just want to remind you, Dave, that Rob one-upped you. You went with 25 cents. He said free. It's like a one-up.
I know. Well, I think
Yeah.
he threw that in because he heard my 25 cents. Like he probably would have been
free-
35 cents.
No
if
onboarding
he went
fee,
first.
no setup, and free 2 months. So what do you have for us, sir?
What do you got, Dave?
Wow.
Going. What do you think? One more. We get 25. Go get free. Go get free.
I'm going to start an auction here. Hold on.
Let's go.
So Rob, who are you using for DNS? Dean would like to know. Have you signed on with DefensX yet? It's only 25 cents.
Well, look, I have to be honest with you guys. Number one, this is the first time I had a full appreciation for what they do. Number two, I've got to check with my MSP. And number three, I'm going to buy it for myself either way.
Look at that.
I do owe Dean a lot of money, by the way. He was
I was going to say, I guarantee
promoting the hell out of me and ChannelCon.
I mean, my God, how much is it worth? It's like a royalty.
Dean's a great cheerleader. He needs some pom-poms.
He is.
Agreed.
It's funny, his is the complete opposite of cheerleader.
The commission on 25 cents. Yeah, that we would love to see that.
Better sell a lot of endpoints.
Yeah, it's hard to get rich at a quarter apiece.
No kidding.
With Dean on your side, you'll probably do it pretty quick.
He might do it. Yeah, I can see it happening. He wasn't letting people leave the suite on Tuesday or Thursday or Wednesday night without buying it. I think he was taking orders for me.
All right.
I mean, he did have an apron on. So let's talk. Okay, so actually, Alex, like I told you before they came on, was that both these guys this is their second year with me. So we started talking to Dave about it. We didn't talk that much to Rob about it, but I'd like to go, Rob, some of your experiences. Did you pick up anything new from this year than last? I mean, you're busy.
Well, I would say this. I participated in all the sessions last year and have not been able to participate as much personally. But like what Dave said, my team is now consuming the content and the education and participating. And so it really, as coming back around for the second year, we're able to take a lot of those learnings and spread it out through the team. So that was really helpful, I think, is a big difference. The other thing I would say, and this is a shout out to Sam, I just think the communication, the organization, the preparation, just the way it's overall being run has got a sharpness to it. And he's doing a fantastic job with managing a lot of communication and a lot of moving parts. And so that has definitely improved, in my opinion, from last year. And I echo what Dave said earlier. It's the networking. It's being in the community. If you're in this channel, there's a high probability that part of your strategy will be event-based. And it's the same guys that are in this contest that are also going to be at those events. Yeah. And so it's a great way to network, to learn more about other tools and emerging tools in the channel, and to see, frankly, what other people are doing and how they're doing it, and if there's anything that you could take away from it. But we have been successful in signing as clients PitchIT contestants, which I'm very proud to say. And awesome. There's a lot of exposure that you get from being in PitchIT from sessions like this. You guys have done a great job of really getting a lot of exposure for all the contestants that would be extremely difficult for any small business to try to accomplish that level of exposure that you get just by participating. And so I have nothing but positive things to say about the event, but I'm also happy to say that next year we will be financially ineligible. And so this will definitely be our last year. And so hopefully Sean will allow me to volunteer and participate on the other side as either a host or coach or something to help, because I'd like to stay involved. But my experiences with PitchIT have been outstanding, and I agree with everything Dave said about it as well.
Yeah. That is absolutely awesome to hear. And I love hearing that you're signing PitchIT contestants too. Want to sign up with Dave. Is there anyone else from PitchIT that you're like, hey, I want to use that tool?
You know, with solutions that will make it easier for MSPs to consume Monjur solutions. So in the context of ConnectWise, for example, we integrate into CPQ so that when the quotes go out of CPQ and a customer accepts the quote in CPQ, all the legal terms and conditions are entered into at that time. But there's a lot of other tools in the marketplace where our contracts could be utilized in a similar way. And those are the types of relationships that we're also interested in. Aside from, doing legal services for other providers, we're also pursuing technology partnerships where Monjur will be more integrated into the tools that MSPs are already using.
Yeah. Awesome. I would say this first off, as far as you said about Sam is the man, so we're clear. He is absolutely the man. Yeah. Thank God. He's so the man. We extended it. We extended his contract, so he's still with me until forever, as far as I'm concerned, until I retire. I need him in my life. But yeah, it has gone smoother. I think we had a lot from this year, from the first year to this year, we've had a chance to really evolve it, which is nice. And it's mostly because of the feedback from all of you. It helps us to figure out what to do, because when I started the first year with it, I was like, we're going to try these things. These things make sense. And then we get feedback after feedback after feedback. And you guys are such great contributors. And even from ChannelCon, I just talked to the guys from Threat Captain earlier today, and they were talking about how CompTIA were like, this is amazing that you all got together. We need to do more of these things. How do we do this stuff? You guys are like, literally, you guys should be the standard for how vendors all work together, and this is what we're looking for. And that's good to hear, because it was a lot of work from you all, and it's very much appreciated. So I'm happy with that.
Sure.
Yeah, I have to add, I made a post a couple weeks ago when I was at ASCII Boston, and one of the great things that I got out of PitchIT was, like I said, meeting other vendors. And it's kind of like a little bit of a fraternity once you're in PitchIT. And I signed up at that event as a startup, which I got, a little bit of airtime, not a lot of airtime, didn't pay a lot, but I was there. And Steve from Rhythms said, Dave, grab your banner and your stuff, come into my booth and use my booth as well during the, 2-hour block of the full show floor time. And that got me, 2 times more out of that show lead wise and demos book than I would have, not knowing him, not being in PitchIT and collaborating that way. And that's really, that's a highlight for me, I think, in the 2 years of being in this competition, or whatever you want to call it, is exactly that. Those networking things are priceless. You just never know when they're going to pay off. One other one was, Alert Ops guys, obviously winners from 2 years ago. As you know, Sean, I teamed up with them at IT Nation Secure, and we did some promo stuff. And they came back from ChannelCon last week, and Raphael sent me an email and said, I got somebody that's interested in your product. We brought your product up in our conversation and meeting with the client. And now we have a meeting scheduled with them next week.
Nice.
Priceless. Absolutely priceless.
It is. And what it really cost you was just investing time, obviously some money for the promotional piece, not even full price though, because you're sharing this. So that collaboration is crucial. It's too hard any space is too hard to navigate on your own. You'll never make it.
Yeah. You need friends. Is what you need. You need friends, and that's what the networking does. And I think if people all come together and help each other, that's how we all become successful.
Absolutely.
The other thing I think is that we do a good job of sort of having a natural vetting process. Like if you're a newcomer, people are going to treat you with some degree of skepticism, rightfully so. And you've got to ingratiate yourself in this community to the extent that the right people will vouch for you before you can make it. And I think that's a very positive thing for a community to self-police itself and self-regulate. And it's not in the sense of trying to keep people out, but bringing the right people in. And I think we all collectively do a really good job of that, helping people that are the right people with the right intentions make it, and maybe not so much helping the people that have the wrong intentions.
Yeah. Being from Canada, we trust everybody until they make us not trust them.
Americans are a little more skeptical, I think.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Dave, so what about you? Any other contestants that you're excited to potentially work with in the future, or you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to sign up with them?
To be honest, I really haven't had great amount of time to dig into them. I've seen some obviously from our collaboration at ChannelCon. I think there's some really super amazing competition this year. I think it's going to be the best year ever in the sense of what I've seen so far in the sense of companies that are going to be pitching. It's going to be tough for the judges. I believe this year is going to be super tough. I'm actually looking forward to sitting through all the pitches. I did that last year, and that is when I actually finally got a good sense of what everybody really does. So I will definitely take the time. That's going to be my learning curve with all these guys. And then we have 2 months leading up to IT Nation, which I think everybody will be going to. And that'll be kind of the point of when I decide, who can we work with? What are we going to use? That type of thing.
Proper use of APEC right there, Dave. I like it. All right. So our famous question that we have loved asking this year, if you're going to step into the ring with a contestant, who are you most afraid to step into the ring with?
And don't be a diplomat. Be like, well, wherever
you can't be Canadian. You have to give us an answer, Dave.
Yeah, you can't. You have to take a side.
Okay, let Rob go first. That way I can say ditto.
Well, I would say this: the tools that are going to win are going to be tools that have the potential to be tucked into large portfolios of offerings. Mm-hmm. And so you got to be thinking about the major players, not just ConnectWise, but think of the big players in this industry, and think about where are the key solutions that they're weak or they're missing something altogether. Is there a new category being created, or is there a new twist on an existing category?
Rob, I love you, but that is not a response, sir. I want a name. I am not letting either one of you off the hook. Give me a name. That's a lawyer response. We got a lawyer and a Canadian.
It's like a bad joke. A lawyer and a Canadian walk into a bar. Nobody gives it a
No one gets in a fight.
No, nobody doesn't get the answer.
Now I'm gonna make it real easy then. The one I'm the most afraid of is DefensX.
Oh my god.
Let me guess, Dave. You're most afraid of Rob.
Nope, don't even give it to him.
No, I'm not going down that road. I was gonna say ditto, but no, I'm not going down that road.
So you're afraid of DefensX? Don't be afraid of yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of myself. I'm afraid of my own shadow, but that's a different story.
Okay, so who are you afraid of? Since Rob took the easy way out of this.
Right. I'll be straight up on this one. I'm going to throw in my Canadian friends at Cavello as one of the big players. The other one, I sat through his presentation last week at ChannelCon, and I seriously thought he crushed it. And I'm super excited to see his 5-minute pitch, to be honest with you. And that's Sention. Like I went to him, I said, and he was super nervous.
He always is.
He crushed it right out of the park. Amazing presentation.
That's You know what? He's gotten infinitely better, and he thinks he's not good, which is even funnier.
Yeah, I love that. I love
Although
that.
he does want to, do a product demo during a party every day, which is I'm like, we do a product demo while everybody's drinking and playing games.
Yeah,
No,
right.
yeah, but they want to see that they don't right now. They don't right now, but
Look,
they really do. They don't.
When
Yeah.
Alex from Cavello was ready to wrap her pitch,
Yeah.
I was like, I would be a little scared of her too.
Yeah,
Yeah, no kidding.
she totally
No
did. She
kidding.
did it at Secure, literally
Yep.
in front, and she was like, yeah, I'm just saying, she did well. I think you're all screwed.
I don't know. Are we allowed to wrap 5 minutes of our presentation?
If you can, go ahead.
If you can,
I mean,
I would love to see it.
more
Look at
power
this
to
guy.
you.
Look at this guy here. There's no rapping going on.
Oh, I'm just present.
All right, guys, are we ready for these pitches?
Yeah,
I'm ready. I
30
wish I could do mine now.
Let's
You're-
pull up
Oh.
the timer.
Oh no, you
can
get the
go
30
first.
second one now, Rob. Rob, you get 30 seconds. Who's
All
going
right.
first, Alex?
So, well, Rob said he's ready. Let's let Rob go. Okay, well, I guess Danny decided Dave.
What, Dave?
All
Dave?
right.
So,
There you go.
Dave,
I'll
pay
have
attention to
decided
the
for you.
timer. As soon as you see it hit 29, go.
It's frozen. There we go.
Oh.
Have you ever had an attack through your texting or your emails where they've asked for money from your bank wanting to send you money and you wanted to click on that? Well, don't because DefensX is going to stop that. DNS solution as a base product, ramping up into web browsing protection, credential and file protection, securing the browser level at any point with any web browser you want to use. Easy setup, 5 minutes, boom, Rob, you're next.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
Bravo.
That was,
Bravo.
I mean, and
That's
you
gonna
even
be
had like
tough to follow there.
he had like a 2-second misstart too, just so we're clear, because he was kind of
Yeah, he had a little hiccup there.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, that was pretty good.
I wasn't a little
And
shaky
even-
at the beginning.
And even segued to you. He was like, bang, boom, here comes Rob. Just saying. We go back to where'd the timer go? Timer's just gone. All right, we're back.
Dave did so good. You don't get to go, Rob. No.
Yeah, didn't want to embarrass you, Rob.
All right.
Monjur is a cloud-based legal service that helps MSPs sleep better at night, knowing that they're protected with the comprehensive legal protections that our documents provide. We help MSPs streamline quote to cash by consolidating the sales and contracting processes into one online step built around your existing sales and quoting tools. And if you sign up today, you get a free 2 months if you say Sean, and a free setup if you say Alex.
We had to let you finish.
Yeah, that was well worth to hear the end.
You know, and take note of that though. Like, you know, when we were talking the other day, I said, make sure your presentation is always less time when you build it, because Rob repeated himself a couple of times because he wanted to make sure he was clear, you know, because you want to make sure that you're enunciating the words, which he did like a couple of times because it's important. So like, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. So you should always have about a 75% of your time that you're allotted should be your presentation built out at the most. So an hour, you're looking at 45, approximate 50 minutes, right? So
in 5 minutes, you build it for 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and you just know that it's going to run longer in real time.
It always does. And even if you talk through it, it always does, because then you always have your points that you want to make sure you stress on. And sometimes when you have people you're looking at while you do it as well, we can't help ourselves but look at people, right? And we find that person, and if they look interested, we wait until they give you the aha kind of, oh yeah, great, you know, and that's all delayed stuff. And then you also repeat yourself sometimes. You stagger up on some things, you know. So all in all, you guys did a really nice job, which you should, because you've been with me for long enough to do good jobs at this point. And you figure Rob probably has an unfair advantage. The dude's been in courtrooms forever talking.
Yeah,
he's been presenting in general of everything in life.
And I've done like 1,000 demos for Monjur at this point.
Right. That's the big part. When you keep doing those demos, people don't realize, like when you try to tell people to work on their pitch, they don't realize like if you're not in sales and you're not pitching a presentation, you never get that. It's totally different night and day. Yeah. You know? So, and then there's Alex, our cat. Again, amazing. Just like, I want to be part of this. But no, you guys have both did a really nice job. You both opened up really well and just getting to the problem being solved, which is good.
Yeah, I'll say typically I'm not like a huge fan of like the storytelling for the 30-second pitch, but you handled that really well, Dave. The only thing that I wish you would have added to yours is that whole 25 cents thing, since it's so much lower than the rest. Might be a good little nugget to add in there. And Rob, for you, I think the little nugget you missed was it's unlimited contracts. It's not per contract. They get unlimited, right? So that's something to maybe keep in mind too, because I don't think that's very common.
All right. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. Otherwise, and honestly, that's even a judgment call too. Sometimes 30 seconds. I don't know. You definitely should, because it's definitely a good way for people to actually pay attention to you quickly. But honestly, if you do a good pitch in general and have a solid, they're going to come look you up. So the next question is making sure your inbound marketing actually talks about that. Literally, splash screen. They go on there. It should be like Crazy Larry special. So, but otherwise, really well done.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks.
You're
Coming
welcome.
from you, Sean, it means
Great
a
job.
lot.
All right, guys. So we've got about a week now until the Battle Royale. What are you guys doing up until the event? Are there any more webinars you're going to be on? I probably no more live events until then, but maybe. Are we going to see you anywhere else?
I do. I have a live event next week in Toronto, Canada. So drinking some more.
I'm headed to. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm headed to Evolve Q3 in Denver. I'll be doing 3 presentations there, and then I'll be flying to San Antonio to present on artificial intelligence and the law at Exchange.
All right.
And then I'll be back in Dallas and ready for the Battle Royal.
Yes. I'm totally down. All right, guys. Well, we're well over our time, but we can keep going. That's the problem.
Thank you so much for coming on today, guys. If you guys do want to carry on the conversations that are going on in the chat, please head over to the MMN Discord. We can carry on the talk over there. And good luck, guys, at the Battle Royale. And I look forward to seeing you all at IT Nation.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Sean. Dave, good job, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
There you go, guys. Thanks.
Toodles.
Of the MSP Media Network.